Most of my life, I think I've heard so many negative things as I grew up. My dad was there, but it didn't feel like I had a dad. You know, he didn't know how to hug me or say he loved me. I've seen so much abuse from my dad too, like, you know, beating me like a man when I was 11 years old, 10 years old. The first time I started drinking too was about 11 years old, and it took away the pain for a while, but as you start growing up, it kind of spirals into an addictions and all this other stuff that was going on.
I've been married to Roger for coming on 31 years now. The first 18 years were not that great. It was miserable. There was nights where, I wouldn't know where he is, and then in the morning I would see his vehicle parked outside, and that's where he stayed for the night. He was too drunk to come inside.
Some days I would go out and, just leave and go party, hoping that, you might get killed, hoping that would happen to you.
The 18th year was the last straw, like I was ready to call it quits. He loved his alcohol, and with alcohol comes, him being with other women, which that was the hardest part for me. It was terrible. Like, I tried to make the best of it, and I prayed for him a lot.
I used to mock God, I guess, or the church. My wife grew up as a Christian. I didn't. I grew up on the culture side too, but even that, I never understood it. I never was told about God. Maybe my grandma used to tell me to pray, but there was nothing else. She told me just pray, pray.
Initially, I used to pray, Lord, help me forget about him. But they gradually turned to, Lord, please help him get through this, help him with all his struggles, and know that his family's here and that his family love him.
I guess one time too, I remember my daughter telling me, she was about 4 years old at the time, and we went to town to get groceries, and as we passed by, I used to always pick up, I used to stop at the liquor store. All of a sudden, my little girl taps me and said, "Hey, Dad, you forgot to stop here," he said. That kind of hit me. What am I teaching my kids? One time I came home, I was so tired of it. I was out maybe 2 or 3 days, and the alcohol wasn't doing anything anymore. It was just being so sad inside. And so one night I just laid down there when I came back home, and then I just kind of sat up like that and started talking to somebody, but it was probably God, right? And I started telling him all this stuff. I'm tired of this. I don't want to do this anymore. And I think gradually that's where it actually started. I did struggle for a whole year, for when I used to go to church.
Solomon said these words to his sons: trust in the Lord.
It's a gradual thing that you grow with too a bit, because you're always looking at your past too, always the guilt and everything else that always drags you back all the time. And I kept going with God, and it seemed like every step I took is, it was hard, but I did it. I had to do it. I wanted to do it. I thank God so much every day for giving us life.
Family life now is really good. Like, we spend a lot of time together now, which is it.
Thank you so much, girl.
We include our kids with everything. We have, celebrations for Christmas, everything.
I get up every morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, pray, to rely on God every day. Now it's amazing. I'm happy for my wife and me now.
God helped me through everything.
Now I know what my purpose is, and it's working with youth. If you can love anybody in this world, if you can love somebody else's kid, you can expand your love a little bit, right?
He had a hard time talking to his kids initially, but he learned how to do that with God, and still doesn't have that much patience sometimes, but he's working through it. He's working with that too, on that.
How was it in Lloyd? If you don't know God, then you will never know love, because God is love. You start knowing God more, you will learn to love more and more and more every day. You'll get through the storm, no matter how bad it is. You will get through it. I guarantee it. God guarantees it.